This is my audience. Hands are sweaty. Butterflies in my stomach. Straight anxiety. Those are not the symptoms of someone that is sick and struggling with a traumatic experience. Those are the feelings that I had when I sat next to a total stranger last week in the student union. When I saw the description for the speech, I had a hard time trying to figure out what I was going to do that I haven't already done before. Luckily for me, a situation came up that would fulfill the requirements for the speech. I saw a girl sitting alone at the student union eating her lunch. This may not be very exciting or a nervous thing to overcome, but there's something different. The specific girl had Down syndrome. At first I thought I was going back to my locker room and enjoying my sushi by myself, like I usually do every day. In fact, I walked all the way back to the locker room before second-guessing myself and walking back to the student union. The things going through my mind were doubt if I should even bother her and give her company, fear of if she did not want me to sit next to her, and the reaction of other people thinking that I was doing it for attention. Pushing those thoughts aside for a moment, I went back to the student union to see a girl whose name was Grace, to be sitting alone with an open seat across from her. Now that I got close to the table, sushi in hand, the three thoughts entered my brain again. Those physical feelings of sweat and butterflies also heightened. Mind you, this is something that I have never done before, and because I'm very closed off and to myself type of person. As I approached the table, I kindly asked the stranger, "May I join you?" As I asked the question, I could feel a few people by the table staring at me in a confused way. She seemed confused herself from the gesture, but she nodded her head anyways and allowed me to join her. I sat down at the table and started to eat my food. I explained to her that I did not like sitting alone, and I was thankful for her to be sitting there. This seemed to lighten the mood a little bit. As I got over the initial shyness factor, we started to have great conversation. Grace tells me about her class at NKU and how they're going and how she's very interested in ballet. I tell her about how my day's been going and other information like that. I'm on the baseball team, which she seemed interested in. As time went on, I increasingly became happier that I walked from the locker room that day back to the student union and to experience something I've never done before. I soon realized that Grace is just like any other college student, and definitely somebody that doesn't let her disability get in her way. She attends school, makes friends, and enjoys extracurricular activities just like myself. Throughout this experience, I continue to realize that I should do things that I'm not comfortable with doing more often. I've never been the type of guy to go to a girl sitting alone while she eats her lunch, and I surely haven't been the person to do that with somebody with a disability. During our conversation, I learned a lot about her. I also think that sitting next to my new friend getting some attention from people around us. As I finished my food and said goodbye to her, I met eyes with a few people around us who gave me a kind smile like I did something special. At that time, I definitely did not think of doing this to impress anybody or to make myself feel better. I just did it because it was a new thing to do and a fear that I felt like I've always wanted to overcome. Overall, I think that it was a great experience for me to overcome this fear that I've had, which would be talking to strangers or someone I've never met before. I'm certainly glad I met Grace that day, and I would definitely do something like this again. Thank you for listening to my story of how I overcame my physical and mental barriers that day.